welcome to Friday Nights with Emma. I'll let everybody, give everybody a minute to join. Let us know you're there. Give us a little thumbs up, a little heart. Mikey's on camera tonight, so say hi to Mikey. Yeah, and we're going to go over my very dusty overlocker tonight, and I'll show you around it. Just let us know you're there. We'll get started.
You're Sarah.
Oh, hi Sarah.
Christine from Glasgow.
Hi Christine.
Susan.
Hi Susan.
Diane.
Hi Diane. Oh, don't let me forget, I've got some 3 special mentions tonight.
Angie.
Hi Angie.
Barbara.
Barbara. Oh, is that my Barbara?
Freeman.
Yes. Oh, hi Barbara. Right, that's first special mention. Yes. Hope you're feeling better. Sorry you've been ill. Everybody's been okay here.
Terry, Margaret, Catherine, Claudia, Liz, hi. Joan, and Wendy.
Hi. Yeah, Link says hi to you as well, and Barbara. I think he must have heard your name, Barbara.
Christine.
Christine from Barry?
From Barry, yes.
Hi Christine from Barry. That's the second special mention. So another person I want to send lots of well wishes to. Yeah, for everything that's going to happen this month. So sending you lots of best wishes. So Barbara, Chris,
Anne,
hi,
Kate.
Anne. Hi Kate.
Another Anne. Julie.
Hi Julie.
Cheryl.
Hi Cheryl.
Leslie.
Hi Leslie.
Anne is waving back.
Oh, and then the last
Jane.
one, hi Jane. I know this one's for Jenny. I know Jenny won't be watching tonight because Jenny is very poorly. So best wishes to Jenny as well, and wishing you a speedy recovery if you ever do get to see this.
Christine.
I mean, like on catch up.
Christine says, thank you for your good wishes.
Oh, you're welcome.
Lorraine from Kent.
Hi Lorraine. Right, so overlocker tonight, so not quilting, something completely different. I'm just going to show you all around all the different bits. They're not as scary as they look at all, so if you've got one and you've never used it because you're a bit afraid of how it all goes, Link, you're not helping. Or you're thinking you'd like to have one but you're not sure. Let me show you everything that there is. So, all the different bits. This has got 4 threads. You can use less threads than this, so that you can do it a little bit more simplified. But 4 threads. Cones. You need cones for that. You can use moon thread. So, for those of you who know moon thread, comes on the spools. You can use that as well. Works really well.
Leslie says you're on the bed just like her.
Oh.
Barbara says thank you. Diane is watching. Annette says every evening everyone made it back in time from hospital to watch you live. My daughter has been for a week. And Pam.
Everybody's. What are you guys doing? You guys need to take care of yourselves. You need to take better care of yourselves. Everybody's been ill. Yeah, and finishing up the last of the Christmas presents, work presents. These have been good ones actually. These are Fortnum and Mason wines, which we've never had, but they go down easy, don't they? Anyway, so threading, and all of them are color coded. Different ones. So this is a Bonina. It's an older one. I didn't buy this new.
Jackie is watching.
Oh, hi Jackie. This was a second-hand investment, but it didn't look like
Judith is watching.
Oh, hi Judith. Didn't look like it had been used much before I got it, because it was a lot cleaner when I got it than it is now. So usually they're color-coded, or sometimes they're numbered. But in the instruction manual, which I couldn't lay my hands on right this minute, it does tell you, there's a diagram in there with the order that you thread them. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. From memory, I think you thread this one. So it's 1, 2, and then 3, 4, I think. But it does tell you in the instructions, and whichever one you get, it will clearly tell you in the instructions with a nice diagram. If I open this up, this opens up. So you can see it's also got a diagram in here, although it doesn't have it numbered, but it does tell you where each thread, that corresponds to each colour, needs to go and where exactly. And they've even got, so it's very dusty, but so this is the red thread, so there's a red dot there, there's a red dot there, there's blue, that one's colour coded blue, so it's all colour coded, so you know where you need to put your thread through. Got some extras. I've got a brush which I clearly have never used. I actually need to get Henry to this, I think, my Henry Hoover in here and hoover him out.
Lorna is watching and
Hi, Lorna.
Diamond is watching.
Hi Shirley. So please don't judge me for the state of the inside of my overlocker. There is a special adapter which I should know what it's for. I haven't used it, but it is for, this goes as an attachment for, I think I know where it goes, but I haven't used it, but it's for something special. I need my instructions. I've never actually needed to use it, but I'm pretty sure it's for hemming. Somebody I'm sure will correct me and tell me exactly what those are used for. I just need to get it back in so I don't lose it. There we go.
Sandy is watching.
Screwdriver, extra needles. So that opens up, and then this opens up on this side as well. So you've got a blade. Open it this way. So you've got a blade right here. This knob changes how deep or how shallow the cut is. So I'll show you when I sew it, because it's easier to show you that way. And then down here, I'll put that back up. Further this way is yeah, more mechanism, so you can keep it all nice and clean, which I don't do, but you can really get into everything basically and do what you need to do. That's all that. Knobs, I'll leave it like that. This is a deferential knob. This is the stitch length knob. This is the presser foot strength. So it's on low at the minute, but you can increase basically how hard this presses down or how soft it presses down. And then these are all your tensions. So each one has a separate tension. Each thread has a separate tension. How you work out where everything needs to be, that's the complicated part, if I say that. So I would start off, so if I sew a bit here, as you can see, can you move right this way? I'm just going to adjust my foot. So I've got scraps here to just sew through. So right here, this is your seam allowance. So a lot of the jersey patterns that I use is a 1/2 inch. So you need to, it adds a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oh, what am I doing? This way. So it's actually not too far. So 1/2 inch is just right here. So I just line up my what am I doing? It's a funny angle. My fabric to there. If I start, let's see. And these you do need to make a tail. So just make a chain. There we go. So you can see all of the threads and it overlocks it all. Now, how you figure out tension. So this is a thread that's a thread. This looper is a thread, and that looper is a thread. And if you go online, depending on what pattern, so this is actually perfectly balanced, pretty much. Everything is where it should be. I'm not going to mess with the tension because I literally just got it right. But if you need help, if you just Google overlocker or serger, because Americans call them sergers, tension issues, there is a glut of places to find help with pictures of what the problem looks like and how to correct it, basically. So there's a lot of information online for that.
Your Sarah says Billy recognizes that material.
Yep. Yes. I'm actually going to make one. I think I've made a shirt like this, just like this for Billy May, but I'm going to make one for Habu because it was the fabric that I found easiest at hand. I'm going to show you a little bit playing around with the stitch length and the differential to show you how that affects things and what they do. What I'll say before I move on is if you're struggling to, if you've got one and you've threaded it and you're struggling to make a chain, because sometimes that can happen, the reason for that is the order in which everything is threaded. So you have to thread your needles after you do your loopers. So just, if you're having trouble with it like that, then what I would do is redo the whole thing. Make sure that you're doing it in the correct order, because it's be one of the needles that is not in the correct order, basically. So
Christine says, sorry I'm late. I hope I haven't missed much. I will have to look at the beginning later on. I first used an overlocker in 1965.
Oh, wow.
And believe me, they were a nightmare to thread. So different from the ones you buy today.
Yeah. I would say, I did go over that. So they are a lot more friendly nowadays, I would say. Because at least this one is all colour-coded as to where everything needs to go. And in the instruction manual, it tells you exactly which order. So you have to be sure that you thread the right one at the right time. So I think this order is 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'll have to verify that. So you do your loopers first, bottom looper and top looper. So if I show, I don't know if you can see here. I don't know if it'll come out. Oh, here it is. That's my... Oh, probably if I had my needles up, it would do it. There we go. So you've got your top looper and your bottom looper right here. So that's the bottom looper. And if I move the knee, there you go. So that's the top and that's the bottom. Yeah, and then this one pulls out so that you thread it down there. There.
And it says, do you only use this machine for dressmaking?
I do. Jersey works really well because you've got a nice neat edge, but also wovens, but only in some instances, which I will show you. I've got an example of that.
And says if anyone can't find their manual, most are available online.
Oh, good point. Thank you.
And Christine said we had to use a twisted piece of wire to thread the bottom thread. Oh
yeah, I used to have one actually, and I've lost it, which is really annoying because that is so handy. I wish I had another one, because that twisted piece of wire was really handy for all sorts of threading. So this is my stitch length, so it basically shows how far or how close the stitches are going to be. So I've got it at 3. If I put it to 4, it will give me a denser stitch. It actually doesn't look that different. Maybe looser stitch actually, compared to that. And go the other way. Oh yeah, that was definitely a tighter stitch. Okay, so 1 is tighter. You can see how many stitches. That's a lot of stitches compared to 3, and then this was 4. So I don't want it nearly that dense, so that's why I had it at 3. There we go. So that's what that does. And then this is the differential. Now, what that is, I don't know why it's... I don't know. What the differential does, so on an overlocker, I don't know why my light is going out, in and out. It's not loose. It acts basically as a walking foot. So the top moves, the presser foot moves at the same time as the bottom. So it, I'll show you. They move together. That's why it's so good for using with jersey. Now you can, the differential, what it does is it changes the tempo basically of the presser foot and how it moves. So it's on 1.5 now. If I put it to 2, let's see what it does. Hello, Link. I think my bulb is on the way out. Ah, you can see how it's wrinkled a little bit? So it's puckered up a little bit. That's not what we want. We want it to be nice and smooth. So if that happens to you, you need to adjust the differential. So I'm going to loosen it and put it to, if I put it to N, put it all the way the other way, make it even more. Okay, now that's gone the other way. You see how that is now wavy? It's not a nice straight seam anymore. So I'm going to adjust it to back to 1.5, and the goal is to find it where it makes just a nice flat seam without any puckers or waves. There. Ignore that bit because it's single-sided, so that's what we're aiming for. It's a nice tension, nice flat seam. So if you're using it and it's puckering or it's waving or the stitches are just too dense, that's how you adjust it basically. But definitely have some scrap material around before you start sewing your good material. Do a test drive basically on the same material that you're going to use to see how it's going to stitch out, because each material is slightly different. So you do need to adjust probably your stitch density and your differential to make it work together like it's supposed to.
Christine says the threader was only a piece of thin, strong wire twisted around. She says, I'm sure I would be able to make one for you after seeing one.
Possibly. Yeah. No, I had it. The one that came with it was a really nice, flexible piece of wire. Yeah.
All wire is flexible.
To a degree, I suppose. Right. So that is kind of around the overlocker. So what I thought I'd do is show, this is one of my favourite patterns because it is so easy. I guess it's technically a girl pattern, but it could be a nice loose t-shirt for a boy as well. So it's a raglan sleeve, and I do cheat, I have to admit, so I should have a mark which is which, but I've made so many of them I can usually tell. So the front is shorter than the back. So let's see which is the, so that's the front, that's the back, these are the sleeves, and that looks longer, so that looks like it goes on here. That should match up. These are where the clips come in handy, because you can't really pin jersey. There we go. So I'm just going to attach the front of the sleeve to the front. And this pattern is a...
Geraldine is watching.
Oh, hi Geraldine. It's a... I want to say made for mermaids pattern. So it's an American company. There's Made for Mermaids, Patterns for Pirates, and another one which doesn't called, I think I've seen it on Etsy. But they are literally all sisters who make jersey patterns. And so if you buy Made for Mermaids or Patterns for Pirates, their patterns are very similar to each other, as in the style of the actual pattern and the cutting out. There we go. So I've got it at 1/2 inch.
Christine says your machine looks nice. The mechanic always made our threaders. They are so easy to make, and you can save quite a lot of money.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Joanne and Mum Maureen are having some tech issues tonight, but they are here now.
Oh, yay.
And Wendy says her husband just asked, are loose t-shirts for people with low morals?
Oh. Boom. So that's that side. I'm just going to go in the round, actually. We'll make it just as a bit easier. Oh, I'm going to get off sitting on my foot. Oh, there we go. So that is one sleeve attached to the front. Now, the back. That goes on here. Actually, I think this would be the sort of thing would be fun to do with a grandchild or child, to have them pick out their own fabric combinations so they can design their own t-shirts. What sleeve fabric they want, what main fabric they want, what collar fabric they want. And you can do this on a sewing machine as well. I have sewn jersey on a sewing machine. The overlocker just makes it a little bit, a little bit quicker, a bit more professional finish to it.
Claudia says maybe I shouldn't have sold hers.
Ooh. Yeah, it's probably not something you'd use all the time. It depends, but I do like it, definitely. T-shirts and these sorts of dresses are really handy. Oh, and I will show you how I use it on wovens as well. Dresses, mostly. Oh, let me move that over just a little bit. There we go. There's my foot. One thing I do need to find is a waist catcher. Mine didn't come with one, so I'm hoping I can buy one. This is a funny angle.
Christine said we used to make the whole garment on an overlocker.
Yeah. The only thing I won't do on here, and I will actually need to
And
do that.
Geraldine says she loves finishing seams with her overlocker.
Yes, that's what I do on the wovens, for sure.
Judy asks, would it be good for making Star Trek PJs? I think it would be. Actually, I think that's ideal.
You know, you can go off people, you know. If you find me some Jersey Star Trek fabric,
No,
Star Wars, whatever it is.
I don't know how to I don't know.
Actually, well, as I say, I've got fabric to make you a Batman dressing gown, but I don't know if I do have enough of that left now.
Oh.
So I've used it for other stuff. Maybe if you go see your dad, you can go into Joann's and get some.
Christine says they had a chute attached to the machine to catch the offcuts.
Yeah, it should have. It's got, see, there's a little adapter here. You can get them. This machine just didn't come with it. They either came with it as part of it or they didn't, and this one didn't. But there are attachments here where you put the waste tray. I have emailed somebody to see if they can actually get them still, because I think this is an older machine.
Anne says, right, everyone will have to find some Star Trek jersey in their PJs. Any help would be appreciated.
Oh, he's so hard done by.
I am. Wendy says a thin plastic food tray might work in the
that's
meantime.
True. That's true.
And I think somebody's just posted a link for your machine for the tray.
Oh, thank you.
But I don't know how to do that, and I don't know who it was.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I'll have a look. Thank you very much.
And Geraldine says she took a leaf out of your book and poured herself a glass of red wine tonight.
Well done. Join the club.
And Diana says, we're on a mission now, Anne.
Well, if you could see him, he's got a link on his shoulders while he's filming.
And Jackie's the one who sent the link.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. I'll have a look. Oh, and I was going to say, they do make this pattern in a ladies' version as well. I have made some for myself and for Kaylee. They're really nice for, especially in the summertime, for wearing around the house because they're nice and airy and cool. Or outside with leggings. So, that's what that looks like. I'll show you. That's that so far. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to cover, because I would normally do this with either the cover stitch or sewing machine, but I'm going to just finish off, not cut anything off, but just cover the edge. So it's barely cutting anything off. Yeah, so that's just to finish off my raw edge. And then what I'll do is when my sleeve is done, I'll actually just stitch that down on the sewing machine, or the cover stitch, but probably the sewing machine. But normally I would fold that over and do the hem before I sew the sleeves together. It's just easier with children's sizes because they're so small. Okay, so now I'm going to do the side seam now.
Would you stop biting my head?
I have cut it, so hopefully the stripes will match, but I'm not going to, it's not going to be the end of my world if it doesn't.
Christine says, I personally don't think I would go to the expense of a trade with the amount of fabric you cut off.
Oh, no, it is, if you're doing a big thing, it does come in handy if you're doing bigger sizes or you're doing a lot. I'm actually just going to trim those off. You can just sew over them because it will get cut, but sometimes they get caught up.
Anne says, what do you have to do with the tails?
Ah, I'll show you. So if I'm sewing over them, I just cut them off before I sew over them.
And Geraldine says, I love to see those PJs. If you make them, hope you don't have to go tracking across the universe to find the fabric.
Boom, boom, boom. Star trekking across the universe. Only going forwards because we can't find reverse. You weren't impressed with that song. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow.
There's no reverse in space. There's no forward.
Good, I got some more clips. We shall see how good my pattern matching is, but I don't think Patrick is going to be impressed. No, it's not quite matching, it's off. It wouldn't pass muster. Oh well.
Geraldine says she loves that song.
My dad used to like that song too. There we go, there we go. Alright.
Lolly says she has an earworm now. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Now, I'm not taking as much off this sleeve as I normally would, only because I know these patterns, the sleeves, for some reason, do run a bit skinny. And Hebrew has substantial arms. So, I want to make sure there's enough room there.
Diana says, we used to set passwords from that song because nobody else would have guessed.
So I can show you here. So the tail that's on this side, because the other one's going to be hemmed in. Well, this one will be hemmed in as well, but I can show you how we deal with those. or if you sew in the round, which I will do with the collar, I'm going to do the same thing. So it's literally just, this is just a wool needle, and I'm just going to sew it back into the seam so it's hidden and tucked away, just like that.
Christine said, we used to sew a couple of stitches and bring the thread around and sew the tail in.
Oh.
And the blade cut the rest off.
That's clever. I'm not that good. That's how I do those. And then that will be turned over and stitched down to make the cuff. That's that side. Looking like a shirt already. Let's do this side. I will warn you, these little tops are a little bit addictive when you start making them. What I used to do, I haven't done it for a little while, is that I would cut out a few patterns first. So get all the fabric cut for all the pieces, and then have a sitting and sewing session.
Christine says it is so much quicker than hand sewing.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Your Sarah says, or use a crochet hook to pull it back through.
Yeah, you could do. You have to get a skinny one to go into the seam. Your hands still sore? Michael's got cracked hands. We've been using O'Keeffe's on him. But you don't rate it, do you, anymore, do you?
No.
So we're having lavender at night instead.
Mm.
One more. One more. There is one more. Oh no, it's broken. Okay. Well, I can use that one. There we go. I was going to tell you all the thread that's on here. So that is actually a moon thread that's on a cone. This one I think I got off Amazon. That's another good place. These ones were ones that I think I either got from Aldi or Lidl. Lidl, probably, because we don't usually go to Aldi if we go. But sometimes you get those in those supermarkets.
Geraldine says she also doesn't rate that hand cream either. A lot of money and it's rubbish.
Yeah,
Christine says try Seams hand cream. Sewing Street sells it.
Oh, okay.
Why would Sewing hand cream?
Because ladies, you know, we use our hands for sewing and we get calluses and things. So I have heard another one that's supposed to be good, but I don't know if I've seen it here. But it is sold to quilters in America. Udder cream. Comes in a green tin. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's udder cream.
Anne says, how would you unpick a seam if you had to?
Oh! Overlocked seams are notoriously horrible to unpick. There is a particular way, and I always have to Google it to find. It's probably easier on these types of fabrics because you can really see the stitches. But there is a technique where you have to unpick one of these straight threads, and I can't remember which one it is. And if you do that, then it will just unravel, but it is very painstaking. So, yeah.
Annette says her answer to lots of problems is Vicks, but it does sometimes sting.
Oh.
And Elaine said she bought her overlocker from Lidl. It works perfectly fine.
Nice.
And Barbara says you can get it from Mull.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. Udder cream.
Christine says, I used to work for Laura Ashley in the day. We didn't have a wage, only piecework, and made enough money to pay the mortgage.
Wow.
Christine said, I have a little thread, it's very good. Mm-hmm. And Anne says, okay, I'll Google it when I need to unpick.
Yeah, please do, because there is a particular thread that you have to do. And it is easier.
And Diana says, udder cream is fantastic stuff. Okay. Agricultural outlets have it.
Well, might have to have a trip to Moles tomorrow then.
Tomorrow is Saturday.
Yes, I know tomorrow is Saturday. Good. A little bit more tail. Okay, so I'll show you what we've got so far. I'm not going to hem it, but I will do the neckline. Okay, that's it so far. The other option for it, which I didn't do for this one, you can have it so that the front hem is higher than the back hem, so the back hem sort of trails down, so a high-low one, which is kind of cute for dresses.
Your sir says, mole, what is that? LOL. Christine says, udder cream was great for a nappy rash when we used cloth nappies.
Oh, yeah, so maybe some Sudder cream.
And Geraldine says, Jules Fallon had a little video on how to unpick an overlock seam. I'm sure if you search on YouTube, you'll find it.
Nice.
And Claudia says, whatever cream you use, put it on thick and wear cotton gloves over the top so the skin heat helps it soak in better.
Oh.
Good luck.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What's the matter?
I hope I didn't. No. I don't think I did. Oh no, it's here. Oh, phew. This is the neck. I thought I'd used it as a tester, but I haven't.
And Lorna says, Cetrabin cream or Cetrabin, Cetraben.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Sells it. Most chemists sell it. Definitely
Okay.
Boots.
Oh no, we have some upstairs actually, in the big tub. Oh yeah, you can use that. We have some. We had it for Habu. In the big thing with the pump on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that, because I forgot we had that.
How do you pronounce it? Cetrabin?
Cetrabin, I think.
Cetrabin.
Yeah.
And Diana said we used to get udder cream in 2.5 kilo buckets.
Oh wow.
What is that in old money?
Good question. I don't know kilos. I know liters. Is it the same? So 1 litre is 1 quart. 4 quarts is 32 ounces. 32 ounces in a pound, isn't there? So over half a pound.
How much?
No, kilos are more than pounds. Kilos weigh more than pounds.
Christine says to finish the seam, we ran the garment off a few stitches and sew a little bit on the previous stitches.
Oh. Well, I'll show you how I do it. I don't know if it's right or not. So this is the neck band, and you have to cut it.
Jackie says 2.5 pounds in a kilo.
Oh. So
it's
over 5 pounds.
Over 5 pounds. And Christine also says 2.5 pounds.
This is the tricky part, I will admit. So this is the neckband. So one, I want to make sure that it's going how I want. So I might have that on the outside. It's got more, even though the faces sometimes are upside down. You don't want that on the outside. There's jellyfish there.
Natalie says, I see you're a gin fan.
Yes. Yes, I am. But it's still there, so I haven't drank it all. Yeah, I did have a work meeting, and I was facing this way when the gin was there, and I'm like, oh, halfway through the meeting, I'm like, I can see all my gin bottles behind me. Oops. Right, now this bit. So, that's the back. So I'm going to put that in half.
Christine says, everyone has their own way of doing things, but I've done things to save time.
There's no right or wrong way.
I've heard someone say that before.
So I'm just finding at least the 4/4, but I might do 8ths as well, because it makes it a little bit more accurate. So the goal is you want to evenly, because this is smaller than this neck opening, so you have to sort of stretch it as you stitch it on. This bit takes a little bit of practice, so the first few I would definitely use some practice fabric and plan for them to be pajamas or the such.
And Christine says, as long as you are not slugging the gin on Zoom.
No, that's true.
Dawn is watching.
Oh, hi, Dawn. There we go. So then this gets folded in half. Do I want that? Yeah, that'll work. So, should I say? Yeah, like that, didn't I? Yeah. So then, that's the back. I always put the seam bit at the back, only because it also helps me to figure out which is the front and back. When you are actually putting it on the child. That's half goes there. Don't play with my scissors. Go. And then find this 1/4. Yeah, this bit is fiddly. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. There we go. And then the last 1/4.
Elaine asks, do you have to allow for the fact that the front neck section is longer when it's lower?
No, because you just divide it all into 1/4s or 8ths, so it will go evenly around. So because it's stretched, it hopefully should sit flat regardless. There we go. So then each one should be evenly distributed. So you can see there's not that much. That's definitely a lot more extra than that, isn't it? Ooh. I'm going to redo that because that doesn't look right. After all that. think I'm going to pin. And let's see, let's do it. See that seam isn't quite the same, so that could be why. So there. Now, line that up with that, and let's see. Oh, I was saying, where's all my pins? But I know where all my pins are. They're holding my doors on.
Christine says you were a born teacher. Carry on your good work, and you have the patience of a saint.
Oh, bless you. There. So that's quartered. Now, you little thing. So let's put a clip on that. Clip on that. Make sure that's, yeah, that's for all of these. Clip on that. Also, this is also the one bit, the neck band, that depending on how stretchy or not stretchy your fabric is that you're using, you may need to shorten or lengthen it slightly. It kind of comes from practice and trying it out. Oops. There's one for link. Right. Let's try that again. Now, which way did I decide with? I think I decided it wanted to go that way. So that's that way. That's that. There we go. I can't imagine having to do this on the sewing bee with the time pressure as well, and having it to make sure that it's all neat and even, passes muster. Ugh. Ugh. Hats off to all those contestants. Woohoo! All right, now that hopefully should be. Yeah, that looks better. That looks more like it should. Right, so wish me luck. We shall see how it goes. I'm going to readjust this so I'm in a better position.
Joanne asks, beginning to think that maybe I could attempt making clothes. Is it doable on a standard Machi, M-A-C-H-I machine?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So on those machines, it will have a stretch stitch. So you need to make sure you use a stretch stitch, and I would advise, if you're going to use a stretch jersey, a stretchy polyester thread, so that if there's pressure on the seams, the thread stretches with it a little bit. If you use cotton, as I've discovered, it could make the thread snap, even if you use a stretch stitch.
Jackie says you say that, but you've nearly finished this in an hour.
Oh.
Anne says, sorry, Emma, forgot you were on. My husband has not long had a triple heart bypass.
Oh, no. Oh, wishing him well. So the trick is to stretch the neckband, but not stretch the t-shirt underneath. So I'm going kind of slow. I want to make sure that one is stretched, but not the other.
Diamond says, I feel for the contestants in a sewing bee being judged by a lady who obviously gets dressed in the dark every day. Christine says, I would have just given it a tug and hope for the best.
Well, I'll tell you, if you do it and it does come out right, it is a thing of beauty. It is such a feeling of achievement. There we go.
Elaine says, I could see her making a proper dog's dinner.
If you've practiced, and yeah. I mean, this one, I don't know. We haven't seen what this one's going to look like yet, so. My consolation is that it's going to be for Hey Boo, and it will be light no matter. So I've kind of got that easy. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's come out very even. We shall see. So what I do here is I will go over that bit, because that's where I started. So that's all going to come off. Just like that. And then this bit gets sewn in. There we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Definitely a little bit more puckered in the back than in the front. Another thing you can do if you really want to is top stitch. Because you can see how it's kind of sticking out. Top stitch that down to make it a little bit neater. And have it lay absolutely flat. I think it's a fridge, you can hear. But yeah, I'm not completely unhappy with that.
That's not the fridge.
That was a weird noise. And it just stopped?
Yeah.
It's not Link.
Diamond asks, how much fabric do you have to start with before the machine chops most of it off?
If I think from what I understand, so it has a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I line it up with the 1/2 inch. Obviously it sort of kept, it's about 1/4 inch. You can, oh, I didn't show you that bit. You can make this bit here bigger or smaller by this knob. So this moves the, can you see here? So this knob moves the blade further away or closer to. Closer it is, the shorter this bit is. Further away, obviously, the bigger that bit is.
Lion says looking good and super well impressed. Joanne says looks fab and says looking good. And Christine says top stitches make the neckline look professional.
Yeah, which I might do. We'll see. We'll see. I do have a cover stitch to do that with, or I might do it on the machine. But, oh, I might leave it as is. We'll see. And then I just got to hem the sleeves and the bottom. Which I will do. But that's it. It's quick and easy. And these ones, depending on how they grow, they can be used as a dress, or they can be used as a top with leggings as well, if they sort of get longer legs, but the top of them stays the same. I'm going to reach behind you because I want to show the other thing. So the other thing that the overlocker is good for, and I did make this on the sewing machine, but I have made them on the overlocker, so you can use them. I made it on the sewing machine, then I went over and I overlocked all of my raw edges to make it neat, and then I top stitched it down as well. But what I have done is gathered up all the fabric and then sewn it all together on the overlocker, so that sews it together and it neatens up all your raw edges. And then I've gone over and top stitched. Definitely recommend top stitching if you're going to sew it together on the overlocker, because with wovens, if you sew the seams on overlocker and there's any pressure or any stress on that seam, it could come apart.
Lorna says lovely fabric, and Geraldine says what a beautiful dresser.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is another pattern that is super easy. I might have to show you guys this one. Oh, dresser. Oh, thank you. It was my nan's. Yeah, I might have to show you this one when it gets closer to the summer, because this one's such an easy pattern and you can use up a lot of scraps in it as well. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was interesting. So I would say, if you've got an overlocker, give them a try.
Your Sarah asks, is that a good pattern for a starter?
This one? This one is definitely a good pattern for a starter because it's all rectangles. The only thing that you need to master is gathering, which is just, it's a very easy technique. A lot of pinning, just needs a lot of patience basically. But it's very easy. This is the pattern that I used to make Billy's pink dress. But it's nice elastic top, so, and because it's so big, there's no fitting involved, which makes it also very nice. But as far as jersey goes, this is a good starter one because there's not that many seams. The neckline is the trickiest part, I would say. That's the only bit that requires a bit of practice.
Sarah said yes, thought it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, I think I've made Billy this. I think probably exactly the same combination. I can't remember. But yeah, nice one for Haby. So yeah, so give your overlockers a go. Don't be afraid of the number of threads. And if you are having trouble, literally, if you Google anything to do with an overlocker, there is somebody there to tell you how to fix it. So whether you're not able to make a chain, or your tension is off, anything like that, or you're figuring out your differential, so how to tighten it or loosen it, or If you've got wavy edges, what causes that? If you've got puckered edges, what causes that? Yeah, there's a lot of help out there. So definitely give them a go, because they're...
Everyone is saying thank you for a great demonstration.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Don't forget, we won't be here next week. There may be some impromptu quick hello live streams during the week next week, because we are on holiday as of right now. So, as you know, if there's anything interesting to show, we might do that. But otherwise, it'll be 2 weeks from tonight for the next Friday night live stream. So, hope you enjoyed that. Have a good weekend. Everybody who is facing surgery, has had surgery, has in hospital, been in hospital, is overcoming things, sending you all best wishes and speedy recoveries to everybody. And take care of yourselves, because you guys are precious. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for sure. Bye bye.
Good night, all.